Good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning. Today is January 8th, 2025. We get together most weekday mornings with our distribution partners to talk about strategies, tips, share techniques, success stories, and to support each of you. Today, we'll see here on the screen, we have the background sheet, and then we have our notes, and our notes suggest that it is January 8th. And our agenda is we want to go through the Shelf Corp Reseller role. Many of you have enrolled as a reseller, and so some of you have had questions that we thought could be best addressed here together today. And so we'll go through what I believe you need to know to be successful and to answer your questions, which is number two. And then, of course, we want to go implement that. What I think makes you and I different from most people, a lot of people want to make money, but a lot of people don't take action. They just want. And so we know that the results are going to come from the action, not by just wanting. All right, so let's first of all, before we get into why become a reseller, let's go do a quick recap of the Shelf Corp itself, because the reseller is selling the Shelf Corp program to others. So that's what we're reselling. So the reason that the fundable Shelf Corp program is so important is the problem that it solves. So you need to be really clear on the problem that you and I solve. There are many, many entrepreneurs, small business owners, whatever label you want to give them, that want to need money. But most of them do not have a fundable business. Most of them don't even know what it takes to have a fundable business. So they're at a very significant disadvantage because they have a problem and they don't even know what the problem is. It's like if you went out this morning to start your car and it didn't start, before you could fix it, you would need to diagnose it, right? What's wrong? Is it the battery? Is it the alternator? What's the problem? Well, a lot of these individuals, because it's not real hard in our society to decide, hey, I'm going to start a business. But to create a fundable business, it is rather intricate. A lot of people don't know that. We've spent years helping clients build fundable businesses, And finally, we came to the conclusion we're doing it all wrong. We should just deliver to them a fundable business. It's faster, it's easier, it's better received. So the Shelf Corp is delivering to the client a business ready to go to funding. It takes 7 days for us to get all the paperwork. Now they'll see immediate results, and we'll talk about that in a moment, but about 7 days to get everything put together, then we're ready to go to funding. So that's the Cliff Notes version. So each of you should have this flyer, and if you don't have this flyer, get with Madison and we'll give you her contact information in a minute. You'll change the contact information at the bottom so they're contacting you. But I think this flyer does a good job of describing who would want a Shelf Corp, the legality, what's included, all the details. And we've had other trainings where we've gone through that. So I'm not going to go real deep into the weeds on the Shelf Corp proposition. But of course, if you are a reseller or you're thinking about becoming a reseller, you do need to be very familiar with those specifics so you can go back and watch the prior training. And of course, frankly, go through it yourself or at least read the flyer. So this flyer is very effective, and we're going to talk here in a few minutes about marketing and client development, lead generation. Most of what you would need to say or to market actually comes from the flyer, so you could copy and paste. But with that being said, let's bring back up our agenda. So we understand the Shelf Corp is what we're delivering. And the way that we deliver that is primarily through our resellers. So, with that being said, why would someone want to become a Shelf Corp reseller? Well, first, we got to look at ROI. Well, it's an infinite ROI because we do not charge anything now or later to be a reseller. So we can dismiss that. No, you're not paying for some business opportunity. So, no cost. Is there more? Of course. Secondly, there's no production requirements. We realize that you're big boys and big girls, we're all adults. So if you want to go make money, go make money. We're here to help you and support you, and we'll deliver. We'll do all the background work for the Shelf Corp. It'll be delivered legally, ethically. We'll do what's promised. But hey, if you don't want to make money, then don't make money. I don't really care. It's up to you. So we're going to stop pushing the rope. We've spent years trying to motivate people that signed up to be distribution partners to go produce. We realize, hey, you're an adult. If you want to make money, make money. We'll give you the tools, the resources, but it's up to you. No one's going to nudge you along, pressure you, push you, or hold you accountable. If you want to be broke, be broke. If you want to make money as a reseller, make money. Beyond that, we've even eliminated the contract. We're not sending you a reseller contract where you have to go through the fine print. There's no contract. You tell us that you want to be a reseller. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. We'll send you the reseller packet, which I'll describe in a moment, and then either do it or not do it. It's up to you. You're adults. You don't need us to hold you accountable. Additionally, another reason that we've been growing our team of resellers exponentially quickly, which is great. And one of the biggest reasons, in addition to the first three we just discussed, is you pick how much you make. We're going to send you an editable client agreement, which we'll talk about in a moment. You mark it up as you want. So you can't say, oh, I make too much or I make too little. You determine the pricing. It's a function of number of Shelf Corp sold and price per unit. You control both of those. You have 100% control. Now, I think maybe the biggest reason to become a reseller is that we improve financial literacy and increase access to capital. Because a lot of people don't know what you know, right? You look at, we have 622 of you on today, and take Zahn, for example. Zahn knows how to set up a fundable business. Zahn knows how to get financing to start or grow a business, as most of you do. But the typical client, the typical entrepreneur lacks the knowledge, the experience, the education that you all have. So we can provide them a solution to their problem. And that's how Elon Musk has made billions of dollars. That's how entrepreneurs make money. We solve other people's problems. The problem that they have is they need access to capital. The truth is they need a fundable business to access capital, and you and I can provide that. Another, and the final of the reasons we have listed here to become a reseller, is it's cheap. It's cheap. With the pricing that we're going out to the marketplace now, the client only is investing $250 out of their pocket. The rest of that is financed. Now, what's the rest of that, you might ask? Well, I don't know, because you're picking what the price is for the Shelf Corp, not us. You determine how much you sell it for, but we'll get financing for them for everything above $250. So it's cheap, it's real, it's credible, it's needed. You're in control. I don't know how you can beat it, but those are the main reasons that I think that we're growing so quickly with our team of resellers. So then that brings up the question, well, who should become a reseller? Well, I think there's maybe two categories. The first category is just kind of obvious. If you are interested in helping others improve their financial literacy, if you're interested in helping others access capital, if you'd like to make money by doing that, this is a great way to do it. And we have all of these perks that we talked about up here. So that's kind of a general throw it against the wall answer. But the second group is very important for you to understand. We sometimes work with business owners that have other businesses. You know, they're plumbers, they're accountants, they're manufacturers. It doesn't matter what their other business is, but they have some other business. But whatever they're doing is not generating enough cash flow. Whatever they're doing otherwise is not generating enough liquidity. So they're essentially just adding a new service line. They're adding a new revenue stream to their business. And I think that's where unsophisticated entrepreneurs get caught up. They say, no, I do this. This is what I do. This is what I want to do. Okay, well, great. Is it profitable? Not right now. Well, then why don't we add a new revenue stream? Doesn't mean stop doing revenue stream number A, letter A, but let's add revenue stream B, and that will be profitable. So that way you can continue to do more of A. It's not all or nothing. So we have a lot of individuals that have other businesses that are also resellers. Make sense? All right. If there's any questions, comments, concerns, type it into the Q&A, please. So then, of course, we better address how do you become a reseller? Crazy simple, because we already said there's no cost. It's not like you have to send us some money. We already said that there's no production requirements. It's not like you have to promise your firstborn. We even said there's no contract to sign. All you do is you email us and we'll send you the reseller packet. Zahn actually ironically says he didn't get his reseller packet. Now, that's possible. I don't know, Zahn, but you could email again and request it. There's a high probability, Zahn, that you did receive it, but it went into spam or some filter. Because remember, when we're sending this reseller packet out, it has links and attachments to get you up to speed. If you're using email services that are sensitive to links and attachments, then you may have to go look. But it's going to come from support@guaranteedfunding.org, but we can either send it to you, Zahn, or resend it to you, or anyone else. Just email us, no strings attached. We'll send you the reseller packet. So what happens then? Well, as I mentioned, you should receive the reseller implementation email. That email is going to have some general instructions. It's pretty simple. It'll have an editable client agreement. It'll have some marketing pieces on it, including this document. So let's pivot over here for a moment. So one of the attachments so we'll send you the flyer that you can edit with your contact information. This comparison sheet, and we've had a training on it. And remember, we have a YouTube channel that you can go back and view past trainings if you've missed any. We did a training well, I think we did a couple actually, teaching you how to use this comparison sheet. By far, I believe this is the most effective way at discussing for discussing with a prospect why they would probably want to consider getting a fundable Shelf Corp from you. Now, again, it's editable, so you'll change your information at the bottom. You can change the pricing if you want to just charge what we need, the $250. But the bottom line is this is a very effective way to help them understand what's included and why they would benefit from participation. So that's included. Not selling you marketing materials, not selling you anything. So as a reseller, I mean, it's as clean gets. No contract, no production requirements, free resources. Okay, so you're going to get that email. Hopefully you'll get it pretty quickly. Then you're going to need to edit the client agreement. So now this is where work comes into play. And I don't want to insult any of you, but we have some people that come to us, and if there's any work involved, they're like ready to tap out. Like, fucking forget this if I got to work. But I don't know many of us that have figured out how to earn a lot of money and do no work. That's almost too good to be true, maybe win the lottery. So this is not difficult, but yes, you're going to have to take from the implementation email the template that we send you. Now, it's the actual client agreement we use, so it's not something hypothetical. You're going to remove our information, put yours on it. You're going to change pricing. I don't want to rag on anyone, but I have some people, they don't know how to edit a Word document. I don't know if it's a good fit. We can't be your administrative support. So if you don't know how to edit a Word document, either find someone to do it, or maybe you shouldn't be a reseller. I apologize. But you're going to need to edit that client agreement. And also, once you have that client agreement edited, which is very simple to do in Microsoft Word, then you're going to most likely upload it into some sort of e-signature software like Adobe or DocuSign. We have some of you that come to us and say, "Oh, I don't know how to do that." This is a no cost value proposition. And so we don't want to be pricks, but we can't be the ones that teaches you how to use Microsoft Word. We can't be the ones that teaches you how to set up an e-signature contract. So if you want to be a reseller, you either need to have some basic computer competencies or have access to someone. I'm sorry if you don't, but please don't expect us to be your admin support. And then you're also going to get the marketing materials for free in that same email. For example, this flyer and the comparison sheet. So, in our opinion, at that point, you are ready to go make money. Now, we have resellers that sign up. They say, "Oh, yeah, I want to be a reseller." And we say, "Okay." So, we send them the packet, and then nothing happens. It's like they're waiting for the next full moon to happen on a Saturday. I don't know what they're waiting for. But that I guess shouldn't be frustrating to us. That's life. Most people aren't like you and I. Most people aren't willing to go work, solve other people's problems, and make a lot of money. Most people will want money, but most people won't implement. So we've got to get past that bias and just realize, hey, if you want to make money, we're going to provide you the tools, the resources, a legal, effective program, and at some point, it's on you. So what happens then after you have received, so you've signed up to be a reseller if you want to, up to you. You've received the email, you've edited the agreement, you also have it up in Adobe or DocuSign, whatever e-signature software you're going to use. You've edited the marketing materials. And when I say edit the marketing materials, we're just saying just change the contact information. It's not anything difficult. What happens then? So go ahead and show. Well, we're going to need leads. And that's another thing that we've decided to do with our reseller. We're not here to be the next Tony Robbins to teach you how to be a sales professional. Either you have an acumen to go develop business or you don't. And I can't really imagine being an entrepreneur and not having a competency in business development. But regardless, you're going to need leads, right? Because if you have no leads, you'll have no customers. If you have no customers, you'll have no money. You'd be better off to drive DoorDash or Lyft or Uber or something. You've got to have leads or nothing else is going to happen. So when it comes to leads, like with many things in business, there are two scenarios. You can either buy leads, which we don't sell leads, but you can buy leads or you can go out and organically build your own. But if you don't have leads, probably the simplest thing to do is to go buy them. And we've talked about Kyle, put that in parentheses here. Kyle, we have no business relationship with, but Kyle has a company. He'll sell you leads. The leads he sells are really good. Everything that we've heard is people are closing an average of 5 to 7 deals within the first 24 hours of getting leads from Kyle. So they're really leads. They're good leads. So these are small business owners that are looking for funding. I think some people confuse a list. If you just had a list of every business, isn't that great? Not really, because you don't know if they're actively looking for money or not. I don't know if your world's like mine, which it's not a pleasant place to be, but my phone will ring throughout the day, pretty much every day, people wanting to loan us money, loan us money, loan us money. We don't need to borrow money. We're cash flowing fine. We don't need to borrow money. So the point is, getting a list of names, not real helpful, a list of businesses, but getting a list of businesses that are actively looking for capital, that makes sense, right? That's your target market. So if you're really diligent, you want to go cold call every business in the yellow pages or in some directory, you could, but I think you'll burn out. Instead, you'd be better off to spend your time interfacing with businesses that are actively looking for money. Kyle knows who those people are. I don't care if you use Kyle, you can build your own leads, but this is what you bring to the table. So some of you are coming to us and looking for us to deliver the reseller program, but also solve your problem of leads. And we're tapping out on that. So if you don't have leads, we can get you with Kyle, and Kyle can get you set up in leads if you want. Okay. Now, once you have a lead, what do you need to do? Well, we believe you need to educate them. And so, how do you educate them? I recommend using the comparison sheet. Now, we've also talked about teaching financial literacy workshops in person or online. But soon as I bring that up, then we get a million questions of people needing a lot of assistance and support, and it bogs us down. So, we have the 27 mistake curriculum. You can view that on our YouTube channel. But if you have what we'll call a hot lead, I don't know if that's a great description, but an entrepreneur that's actively looking for funding, then taking them through the comparison sheet should close 9 out of 10. And again, we have prior trainings on that that you can go access. So let me scroll on down here. So if you need Kyle's information, then give Madison a call and she can provide that, or you can email us. You need to be a reseller first. But again, just to clarify, we don't get any kickbacks from Kyle. Kyle just runs another small business like we do. His is based around leads. He has a package that includes, he'll do some live transfers. So these people are already on the phone coming to you. His team will do some appointment setting, and he'll give you a spreadsheet of 1,000 aged small business leads. So the live transfers obviously come to you, pretty easy to close. Appointment setting, his team sets for you, pretty easy to close. That list, now again, if you're real diligent, you could call 1,000 aged small leads. But what you could do is instead, or in addition to, email us that spreadsheet, and then we'll do the drip marketing. So they're still your leads. We're not charging anything for the marketing, but that would allow us to use our content. We have MailChimp. We send out over 1 million emails a month. So we could just plug your leads into that flow. They're coded to you, so they're still your leads. But if you need Kyle's information, either email us or call us. Every once in a while, people ask, well, does Kyle charge for leads? Well, hell yeah. I mean, we've got to avoid this temptation to think that people are going to give you things. That things are not free in the business world normally. As far as all the past trainings, all of them, no passwords needed. You can go to our YouTube channel and see where we taught you how to use this comparison sheet, learn more about the Shelf Corp, whatever pieces you're missing, you can go back and capture. So with that, we're going to go through your questions, comments, concerns. So as I mentioned, Zahn had said that he signed up as a reseller, didn't see his packet. I don't know offhand, Zahn, but you can re-request it. High probability that we did send it, that it went into a filter on your end, but it doesn't really matter. If you don't have it, you don't have it. We can resolve that. And then a number of you want Kyle's information. So again, I'm not here to promote Kyle, and he's going to charge you for those leads. You can go out and develop your own leads, but we're not going to spend time and energy teaching you how to go generate leads. I was talking to one of our distribution partners yesterday, and she was kind of the catalyst for today's topic. She's like, if she's going to advertise on social media, what would she put? What would she use? Well, I think you could extract from this flyer and literally have the content that you need. So again, this is so difficult. We want everyone that wants to be a reseller to be a reseller, but if you don't have a competency to generate business, it may not be the right fit. All right, so let's go through. Yeah, Corinthian says she's waiting for Kyle to get back with her. I know that we're referring hundreds of folks per week to Kyle, and they may or may not work with him. Again, it doesn't matter to us, but you may have to give him a little bit of time to respond. Let's see. Kenya says that she sells lists, so that's great. And again, it doesn't matter to me how you want to go. So Kenya, if you sell lists, then you should be able to go crazy, right? Because you already have lists of small businesses that want funding. So that's great. Curtis is asking me to resend his package. I don't have the ability, Zon and Curtis and others, to do that during the Zoom. We have 627 of you on. So again, real simple. I'm going to ask you to take an active role. If you didn't receive your implementation package, I apologize. Not sure if it was a break in on our end or your end, didn't really matter. But if you need it, do this step right here. Email us. Don't ask me here on the Zoom, and we'll get it to you. No problem whatsoever. All right, and so Michael's asking a little bit about the difference between the reseller versus the Shelf Corp store. So we are opening brick and mortar stores across the country. That is ran by an owner of the Shelf Corp store. They have a physical presence in the community. They're doing education, they're interfacing. So that's a higher level role. Yeah. So if anyone is interested in owning a store, no cost, not selling anything, but you would need to have a Shelf Corp. So because we know that if you're a Shelf Corp store, they're going to ask, hey, did you do it? And so let's talk about validation for a moment. Let's scroll this down. So as a reseller, you don't have to be a client, by the way, but let's talk about validation. If I were you, I would consider enrolling yourself in the Shelf Corp because that's what we're selling, that's what we're recommending, and we could talk about it till we're blue in the face. But if you actually have gone through it, you're going to know it better than just talking about it. It's like, have you ever taught a 8-year-old how to tie their shoe by just using a whiteboard? No, at some point you put the shoe on the foot and you show them how to tie it, right? It's called experiential learning. So best practices, yeah, I would validate all that we say by yourself going through it. You don't have to as a reseller, but I would advise that. So what would the results of that be? Because people don't always trust other people. So we want to be able to show validation. And it's the same thing that we've done. So we have confidence. So we would want to have a fundable business. And that's going to include what? That's going to include, typically, we should have one or more business credit cards that are under the EIN, not reporting on our personal credit. So no, this isn't all about credit cards. You got to hear me out. There's going to be other items listed. But as a fundable business, I think every business should have at least one business credit card because you're going to have expenses. You shouldn't be paying it for it yourself. So we have that. You should have that. If you don't have that, let us get you at least one business credit card. Second, you should have, in our opinion, a line of credit. Lines of credit are great, kind of feel like a credit card, but they're not. They come from major banks. There's no interest rate unless you're pulling the money from. Typically, you can get a line of credit up to about 150,000. So if you need it, you pull from it. If not, not. So I would recommend having that. So again, you can show clients, yes, it's real. I've done it. I've got my business credit card. I've got my line of credit. We're going to continue on. It's not the end. Then a business loan. So we're talking about a term loan. Term loans typically are 120-month, 10-year repayment term. So you've received at least 100,000. So you can say, yep, worked for me. I did it. You can have confidence. Now, another one that is a little bit more debatable, but I would definitely get a company car. Having you're going to need transportation, probably, unless you live in New York or Chicago, you probably need transportation anyway. Buy the car in the company name. We'll help you facilitate that. It's fully tax deductible, and you can have it wrapped if you want or not. I have 3 company cars. I've not had any of them wrapped. It's a little over the top for me. But we've done these 4 things. We've gone through these steps. So when I'm talking to you, I approach you with 100% confidence. What we teach is legal, it's ethical, it works. We would love for you to have that same level of confidence. And I think the best way to do that is for you to go through it yourself. But no, you do not have to be a client to be a reseller. So it's not a requirement, it's just a recommendation. And if you have these four things, how are people going to refute you? When you can pull out of your wallet and show them one or more business credit cards, not personal credit cards, but business credit cards. When you can show them that you have a business line of credit that we got together through the program. When you show them that you've been funded for a business loan, just like we have. When you can show them you have one or more company cars. I mean, is this not the definition of a fundable business if you have those four items? So if you don't have those four, recommend but don't require. Let's work together so you have that, but not a requirement. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Again, Madison is your main point of contact, 903-352-3390. This is her direct line. Now, she's on the phone a lot, so she might miss your call. She's very good about returning calls. Recommend leaving a message. A lot of people will call in, they won't leave a message. Well, you get lower priority if it's just a missed call. In a business world, normally leave a message, and so that way you'll get priority response. And as we've talked about, accessing past trainings. What did I miss today? What do we need to cover that we did not cover properly? So a quick recap. So we talked about the benefits of becoming a reseller, 6 benefits. We talked about who should become a reseller. We talked about how to become a Shelf Corp reseller. We talked about what happens once you make a request, because there's no contract to sign, no money to pay, what will happen, what you should be doing. And then, of course, we need to implement right here. This is on you. And I know we live in a society that it's never my fault. It's always someone else's fault. We have people that come to us. Well, I had great credit until the War of 1812, and that really fucked everything up. It's like, just be responsible. Life is as it is. You can change today, and going forward, no one can change the past. So if you want to make money and help people, we've got to implement. We have to implement. And this is where a lot of people will stop. A lot of people will sign up to be a reseller. Oh, it's shiny and it sounds good and it's free, sure. But that's not what makes money, right? This is what makes money. Our average reseller is doing a deal a day. So it's not get rich quick, it's nothing crazy. But the average reseller is marking up the Shelf Corp. They're making $5,000 per Shelf Corp. The average reseller is doing a deal a day, Monday through Friday, 20 a month. So it's a side income. I know it's not the type of money Ernest. You got Ernest Harris on here. For him to make an extra 100,000 a month isn't even going to move the needle probably. Same for Kenya, same for Near. We've got a lot of high income producers on this webinar. I realize that. We're not trying to help you get rich, but we can certainly add 5,000 a day consistently helping other people. So that's the value proposition. We're not trying to pitch you anything. We're not trying to sell you anything. What questions did we miss? What else do you need to know so you can go implement? Because that's the goal, to leave today's Zoom and go implement. Because if you don't implement, you've kind of wasted 30 minutes of your life. So what else can we do for you? All right, I think we got it covered. Give Madison a call if you need anything else. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.